In this video, we interviewed Jarvis's coach, Otis, and if you want to check out the full interview, it will be in the link in the description below, and make sure you like and subscribe.
So, Jarvis has been boxing since probably about a year now, with his fight against Michael Lee in last June. What was the time that you and Jarvis met? How did you guys meet?
Actually, he was referred to me by Andre Berto.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And I just recently saw Andre after the fight at Mandalay Bay last week. And, we talked about it. He said that they were asking him about the best person he could think of to train Jarvis from the ground up. And he told him me.
oh wow.
And
Yeah.
I told him I just wanted to thank him for it. It was an honor. And, I'm just glad that, people do remember me.
Mhm. And when Jarvis initially started training and boxing with you, what were your kind of first impressions on his skill set and him? Like, was he kind of disciplined and motivated to get inside the ring? And kind of what did you see in him early on?
Early on, he's very disciplined, very eager to learn,
Mhm.
and I really had to pull him back a little bit because he just wanted to keep going and going. And I told him he'll burn out if he just
Yeah.
keep going. You
Uh-huh.
know,
So, from what you've seen of Jarvis and his ability, how far do you think he's gonna take his boxing career? Do you see him maybe having a future competing professionally? As I mean, he's much younger than a lot of these influencers, and he's only 20 years old. So, what do you think his future in boxing holds?
but it's really hard to say. That's up to him because he has
Yeah.
a very strong mindset.
For sure.
I mean, even people like Ryan Garcia was calling him out after the fight.
Damn.
And like I told Ryan, we'll fight you because I trained you. I was going to train Ryan, but he didn't sign with Floyd. And I'll let my guys fight anybody
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I think we have the ingenuity and the know-how to do it.
Hmm.
Hmm. And when you guys were around first started training and kind of when you guys were in the camp for the fight against Michael Lee, what were the first main skills you wanted to develop into Jarvis to make sure he's ready for the fight?
His footwork, his stepping.
Hmm.
Many people are not able to put their hand, eye, and feet coordination together. And that's what boxing is missing today because as you can see, we have a lot of YouTube fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, Jake Paul and those guys are taking over the sport because they have viewers. They're putting people in the seats, not initially in the arena, but at home as well. So,
Hmm.
I mean, with that being said, the YouTubers are really changing the sport of boxing. And the people that call themselves trainers in boxing should be ashamed that you have kids coming in from playing video games that are able to do something with some of these fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Especially
mean,
because they're
I
making
mean,
such a
there wouldn't be a snowball chance in hell as Jarvis waking up and going in there and beating Floyd. You know what I mean?
hmm
But granted, at the end of the day, there might be a final outcome.
yeah, especially with how fast a lot of these influencers are making a splash into the sport.
Right.
yeah, and like
So
you're sorry.
I'm listening.
Like you're talking like the hand-eye coordination and obviously his initial popularity and his growth on social media being from his
Right.
talents in like the video game world and him kind of growing up on that, being signed to like Face Clan, the gaming organization. Do you
Right.
think there were like any attributes from like him being a gamer that helped him as a boxer, like his reflexes and hand-eye coordination, maybe his ability to pick up new stuff in boxing?
Well, I never knew anything about Jarvis. I I didn't know Jarvis from Adam.
Hmm.
And kids would come in the gym and tell me I don't know who I'm training and how famous he is. And my grandson was like, Poppy, that's FaZe Jarvis. I'm like, who the fuck is FaZe Jarvis?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know who the fuck a FaZe Jarvis is.
Right.
And he's like, he's famous. I said, I'm famous. I don't give a shit. I said, but and me and Jarvis developed a great relationship, but him with his eye coordination, yes.
Mhm.
But there's certain little things that I want to discuss that was a setback from gaming,
Mm,
and you wouldn't notice
Interesting.
it unless you sit there and watch some of the things a person repeatedly does when they're training.
uh-huh.
And I finally had to put two and two together because doing anything you have side effects of that. Say like you might have a little nerve condition because all you're doing is tapping your fingers. Your fingers stimulate your nerves.
Hmm.
So there's little things, but as far as his attributes, he learned quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I put him in there with some top fighters.
Hmm.
Oh,
I mean,
interesting.
Jarvis was in there with some. I had a girl that's two-time world champion. I had a guy that was world champion that I had inspired with. Um, I mean, I put him in there with everybody I had. I
Yeah.
put him in there mainly with my top kid that's one of the top junior welterweights right now. And we just took him and groomed him along the way. And I mean, it's different when you're living it every day. And Jarvis got outside of his element and did all of that.
Yeah, and it's great to
Getting
hear.
up at getting up at 6 a.m., going up in the mountains, go jogging, and
Hmm.
I had them pushing cars. I have them shadow boxing while they jog, shuffling forwards, backwards, sideways. I mean, these are things that a regular fighter does, and if he's going to train with me, I can't change who I am.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I asked him. I finally got to the point. I said, "Well, how do you want to win this fight?" He said, "I want to knock him out." I said, "Well, that's how we got to train." So I had people really in his ass to where he was getting pummeled. And I told him, I said, "It's not a good feeling, is it?" I said, "No." I said, "Well, that's what I expect him to feel."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's great for
You
someone
know?
who's really trying to pick up the sport quickly and learn
Right.
at a rapid pace. Put him against guys who know more and have been doing it longer.
Yeah, because boxing isn't for everybody. But
Yeah.
at the same time, as a trainer or coach, you got to sit there and monitor that because you can't let it go overboard because you can lose your sense of trust in me as well as your desire to do what you're doing because it
Mm-hmm.
can break you to where you think I can't do this. But every day, like I told Jarvis, keep a journal, and every day should be better than the previous day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we know for the Michael Lee fight, you were training with Jarvis very frequently because, of course, you were in the camp. But since that fight, have you guys still been working pretty often together?
No, Jarvis is in England right now. He's coming back over. He told me to work, so
Hmm.
we'll get back on it. I guess once he get, I have him work. I sent him to a gym over in England where he's at. I think in Essex, over in that area,
Mm-hmm.
and had him get with someone over in there that can keep him going until he comes here, so he won't lose it. And when he get here, we'll just add to what he's doing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So even when you're away, still making sure he's always ready.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, we stay in touch.
yeah.